In just a short week of Donald Trump being in the Oval Office, he has made numerous executive orders and signed an ample amount of lawful documents, clearly making a huge statement in his second term of presidency. One of those orders is mass deportation, and Trump's promise to completely secure the U.S. border from illegal immigration. So far, Trump has kept that promise. It has only been 1 week of his presidency, and Trump has already deported around 3,000 immigrants. And that number by itself is just continuing to grow. President Trump has gone as far as sending agents and ICE into schools, churches, hospitals, which used to be illegal at a point in time, but he overrid the rule. He is sending them to people's homes to arrest them so he can get them deported immediately. The cities listed as targets for deportation are Chicago, New York City, Miami, Denver, and Los Angeles. These are all popular areas for immigrants. On January 23rd, 2025, only 3 days after President Trump's inauguration, they detained 538 undocumented immigrants. Hundreds of undocumented immigrants were flown out of the country in military-grade planes to get taken back to their home country. And historically, this type of force has never been used before in deportations. There is even a trending video that is going viral right now of a Haitian man who was undocumented and living illegally in Boston who was arrested by ICE. In the video, he is saying F Trump, Biden forever.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
And while he was in the car with the ICE agents, they said they are deporting him back to Haiti. So, what does this mean for the future of immigration? Can President Trump truly send back all of these people to their countries just because they're undocumented? What about the immigrants who come to the US and work hard, take care of their families, and don't harm the US? How will this even affect the US economy in general? Now, to be quite honest, this isn't a surprising move by President Trump. Dating back to August 2015, during his 2016 campaigning, Trump proposed mass deportation, a part of his immigration policy. During Trump's first town hall meeting, Trump said that if he were to win the election, on day one of my presidency, they're getting out and getting out fast.
They're going to build a wall at the border. Going to build a wall. You got a lot of gang members that are illegal immigrants. You go to Chicago and different places. You got a lot of these are tough dudes. We're going to get them out of here so fast your head will spin.
Trump had proposed a deportation force to carry out his plans of mass deportation. And it was modeled after the 1950s wetback program that was a part of the Eisenhower operation. President Trump had reiterated this, that anyone who has entered the United States illegally is subject to deportation, with priority given to those who have committed significant crimes and those who have overstayed visas. He noted that anyone seeking legalization would have to go home and do it the proper way and go through the process to be able to come back to the United States. However, once Trump won in 2017, he didn't put that plan into motion. During his first presidency, the number of undocumented immigrants who were deported drastically dropped. So yes, Trump did create the border wall on Mexico and extend it, and he enforced strong security at the border. But U.S. Customs did not deport nearly as many people that were deported during President Obama's presidency. In Obama's first 3 years of presidency, he deported 1.18 million people compared to Trump's 700,000. However, the real immigration issues came for the United States when President Biden won the 2020 election. During his first few days of office, President Biden unveiled the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 and reversed many of President Trump's policies on immigration. Due to this, the number of undocumented immigrants skyrocketed. A study shows that the total number of people who entered the United States under President Biden was around 7.2 million people. That's one of the highest numbers in U.S. history. This became a huge issue for the United States, not only from the country feeling unstable, but also because of the increasing crimes by immigrants. Despite that, Trump took advantage of it during his campaigning time. He had made it clear that the border and the immigration issues were his top priorities.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. Going to get the criminals out.
President Trump has stated that he was going to deport 15 to 20 million people, even though the only estimated number of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. is only around 11 million. The American Immigration Council estimates that Trump's plan would cost $315 billion and that it would be unworkable without massive outdoor detention camps. Many studies have found that Trump's plan will result in a decrease in employment for American-born workers and result in no economic growth over the second Trump administration. From that policy alone, others estimate that it will shrink the GDP, the gross domestic product. President Trump also has not ruled out his decision on separating families of mixed citizenship status. That alone could affect the lives of millions of people and their families. Why? Because most of the undocumented immigrants living here have been here for over 16 years plus. On the flip side, however, the deportation process has been successful. In a post on X, a White House press secretary said this statement: "The Trump administration arrested 538 undocumented immigrant criminals, including a suspected terrorist, 4 members of a Venezuelan gang, and several undocumented immigrants convicted of sex crimes against minors. Also, the 538 arrests included 373 people with criminal records, 165 people without criminal records, according to documentation provided by a senior administration officer. Another 1,041 people were removed or repatriated." So, it seems they aren't just arresting any immigrant they see or anyone. This is calculated. Some examples of the arrests they picked out included this: the arrest of a 23-year-old Ecuadorian citizen convicted of rape. He was arrested in Buffalo. Another man who was also arrested in Buffalo was deported back to the Dominican Republic, and he was charged with being convicted of continuous sexual conduct against a child. President Trump was eventually asked about all of the immigrants that were being deported, and this is what he had said to reporters: "Deportation is going very well.
It's going very well. We're getting the bad, hard criminals out. These are murderers. These are people that have been as bad as you get, as bad as anybody you've seen. We're taking them out first. Thank you."
Once arrested, the immigrants were put onto an aircraft to be flown over back to their home country. And using military-grade planes is something that has never been done before with this level of aggression. 3 officials said that the authorization of the military aircrafts was under Trump's administration and not Biden's. It was also estimated that each flight would cost at least $850,000. In all of the recent deportation flights, there have only been about 80 people on board each time. So that process to me sounds very expensive, and that could cause for it to eventually slow down. But so far, the president sees that it's worth it. President Trump promised a crackdown on immigration, and he's doing just that. His second term has been him keeping that promise and having a flurry of executive orders aimed to completely change the U.S. immigration. So, at this point, can it get any worse for undocumented immigrants? To put it simply, yes. The number of arrests and deportations are just continuing to grow. President Trump seems to be laser focused on taking down illegal immigrants. However, the process of mass deportation seems to be very expensive, and that could cause it to slow. I personally don't believe that the government realizes how much immigrants help the U.S. economy and what they contribute to it. If the GDP can be affected by this, hopefully it will open the eyes of the government. Thank you for watching. See you next time on KW Lawholic.